Hello and welcome to Lunch Therapy. It is Moin Day and things are, kind of cold here in the lunch therapy world. The question today is there anything good happening? Because that's what this show is about. What's good that's happening? Because we need to focus on the good. I've been doing a lot of work lately on getting my mind right, and that's a lot of what this show is. For those of you that might not know what this show is, it is a break from all the crap that's going on to kind of realign ourselves. We do some breathing at the top of the show. We look at some things that are maybe positive. So that's what I've been trying to do lately, is really because there's so much shit going on that might not be super great. Some of it's pretty terrible. Holy Ganell. Some of it's pretty terrible. So it's like, what do? You can't ignore it. Some people, they try and say, oh, everything's going great. Everything's terrific. We don't have to worry about anything. But that, of course, is not the case. And just because you act like it's not happening doesn't mean that it's not happening. Right? So how do you get your mind right? Because one thing that I've realized is that if you focus on all the negative stuff, you're probably just going to get more negative stuff. And I've seen this in people in my life and myself in particular, because that's, I'm my own experiment. But when I focus on all the negative things and worry about all the horrible things that could happen, I am kind of bringing it in, kind of bringing more of that stuff. We get more. The more we have, the more we get sometimes. So focusing on the good stuff is what we're doing here today. And I've got a great snowman here dancing around. This is a background. If any of you are on Zoom meetings, go to Etsy, go to this guy's thing called Zoom Backgrounds. You get some freaking cool backgrounds that are fun. So the wolf you feed, Kamala says. Yeah, so if you feed that wolf, the wolf will get big and eat you. But if you feed that, I don't know what's a good thing, that platypus, you can have a lot of fun with that platypus as long as you stay away from his stinging hind leg. If you don't know about platypuses, check out last Friday's episode with Ginny and Ben Gervich. Today is Moin Day. Let's get into lunch therapy. I'm gonna get myself a modem. 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 Okay, I'm at the ski lodge. I'm out here in my backyard, and we happen to have a ski lodge. So I'm gonna, hit the slopes later on. I got my coat ready. I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably going to, wear a GoPro camera on my head and sustain a groin injury. So I'm looking forward to that. So this is the part where we breathe. And I want to check in on our hummingbirds here. Viewers, you got to feed the monkey. Yeah, you got to feed the monkey. I don't know what it means, but I think it has to do with feeding the wolf or feeding the platypus. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. Wow. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather. The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, which wolf will win? The old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. So there you go. This is all known stuff. This is known stuff. Some of it is kind of becoming just known to me now. You live your whole life, you don't realize these things. I spent a lot of time worrying And obviously there's a lot of things to worry about. What did the trash panda say to the prostitute? I don't know. I'm waiting for the answer to that. Heavenly Lodge, one of my favorite places. Camel and I have been there. Jose is here. Jose, we're going to be talking about some science today. So I'm glad you're here because I'm going to need your help. Because I'm going to wing it because I want to talk about this thing. It's a really good thing, and I want to talk about it. What did the trash panda say to the prostitute? I don't know whether Camel is saying feed me is the answer to that. I don't know. Asking for a friend. All right. We got to take our breaths. So here we go. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. That feels good. This good, fresh mountain air. One more or two more. But first, number 2. In through the nose, out through the toes. Hold it. Let it go. And one more. In through the nose, out through the toes. And let it go. All right, here we go. Okay, I got an announcement to make. Maybe 2 weeks ago, I had somebody on the show. His name was Jack Franklin. Maybe you remember, maybe you saw it. Jack Franklin is out there in Montana. He's a filmmaker, an actor. He's got his own show on YouTube called Jack Does. And it's mainly Jack Does Horror, where he talks about horror movies. We don't really talk about horror movies on this show, so that's the alternative if you want to listen to somebody talk about horror movies, and he knows a lot about them. And he also makes them. So we've been talking, because we talked about it on the show, this movie that he made called Ear Redemption, and he told a crazy story about how he broke both of his hands and, I don't know, his tailbone working on this film with his friend out in Montana. And we've decided that it hasn't been seen anywhere. So we've decided that we're going to have a screening of the film Ear Redemption. Oh, wait, I just want to take a look here. Mike Curry just showed up. Someone paying you to grow that hair. This is my friend Mike Curry, dear friend of mine. I don't see him enough. So I just want to acknowledge Mike. It's great to see you here. Welcome to Lunch Therapy. Yeah, Calvin says, oh my God, Mike Curry. Anyway, we're going to be doing this film screening. We're going to do our first Lunch Therapy film screening of the movie Ear Redemption live this Thursday night, December 10th at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, 7 p.m. if you live in Montana. So I hope you'll all join me. It's just going to be a live stream. It's not going to be out there for more than just that time from 6. And it's not like a feature length film. It's about 20 minutes. And I think you'll find it really fun. And me and my sandwiches. Yes, me and my sandwiches. So hopefully you guys will all join us for that screening. 6 p.m. Thursday, December 10th. Here's the trailer that I created for the event. Yes, Jack is an awesome actor, it turns out. I didn't I only know Jack from interviewing that one day and talking with him on Facebook and stuff. And he's just a great guy and I love his videos, but I didn't know he's also an awesome actor too. So check out the movie with me on Thursday night. Then we're going to talk to him too about the movie, and we're going to be talking with the director whose name I don't know. I highly recommend watching this film, especially after hearing how everything is broken in his body as he films it. So Mike Curry, just back to Mike Curry. He showed up for a minute. He works in the film industry. He is a first AD and a second AD. And Ganell asks, is the movie comedy? I would say no. It's a horror movie. It's sort of horrific. That's why we're not showing it in the middle of the day at lunch therapy, because we don't do horrific here on the show. But it's really well done. And it's not, I wouldn't recommend you bring little kids, but it's not gruesome. It's just it's scary. Yeah. You must have Mike. I would love to have Mike Curry on as a guest. Hopefully he will, now that he has seen the show and come in. All right. Something else I want to get to here. Irredemption, Thursday night, 6 p.m. See you there. This is just an adorable monkey. I don't know what kind of monkey it is, but I thought you'd, enjoy it. He's eating, as we love to watch animals. I love to watch, and I hope that you do too, love to watch animals eat different types of fruit and vegetables and legumes. And so, you're welcome. There's a monkey. I don't know what kind of monkey it is. Now I'm going to tell you a crazy little story. As you may have noticed, it's just me today. There's no guest. There's no hilarious banter going on here. It's just me. So I thought I'd tell you a crazy story that came up this week. And so it made me kind of search back and reflect a little bit. Sometimes I reflect and go, what's going on here? Because to me, anything past 2000 seems like it's new, like we're living in the future, and anything after 2000 is new. But there are people that were born in 2000 that are now 20 years old. So I know this might not be startling to anybody else, but to me, that is remarkably startling, because I'm like, whoa. People say way back in, '06 or something like that. So something came up on my Facebook feed, I have this friend, Jeff Lohman, who will send me an email, and he sent me one the other day. He's been keeping a journal since, high school. So every once in a while, he'll send me something and say, this is what was happening. And he sent me something that was happening, I think, in 2001 or something, when Camel and I went to Venezuela, and we took his Homer Simpson doll to the highest waterfall on Earth, Angel Falls. So he sent me that. But then Facebook also sends you these things and says, hey, look at this. Here's a memory. And so it sent me something, and it just kind of blew me away. And I did notice there was no guest, but I didn't want to jinx it by saying anything. This is not a situation where there was going to be a guest and then there wasn't. But anyway, so Facebook sent me this thing, and it said 11 years ago. And it was a little video, and I'm going to play it for you. But first I want to kind of explain. So in the 2000s, early 2000s was kind of a searching time for me. I was trying to figure out kind of where I was, and I was working for a law firm, and then I quit the law firm, and then I tried to go out on my own just as an actor, and then kind of fell on my face, had to get another job at a law firm, and then I quit that job. And then I tried to freelance as a computer technician. So if you're thinking about starting your own business, my advice to you is know your business, know, how to do the thing that you're going to be doing if you're doing some kind of a service thing. But also learn something about business, because learning as you go along is a terrible idea. I figured I'd just learn as I went along, and I would just provide excellent service, and then people would pay me and I would have a thriving business. But there's a lot more to that. I'm going to give you 2 things that I learned. One is, if you have your own business, specialize in something. Don't try and be everything for everybody, because I tried to be everything for everybody. Anything computer related, I would fix it. And number 2, have a small number of clients. And if you have to travel to them, make sure they live near you. Because I had clients all over Los Angeles. Some of them, it would take me, like, if anybody lives in Los Angeles, you know that if you drive to the west side from the east side where I live, if you drive to the west side, that's an entire day. So if somebody has some kind of computer problem and you're going to be like, oh, I'll just run over there and fix your computer, your day is shot. You better make sure that you're charging a lot of money. So then also, I mean, I have all kinds of hilarious stories from this, but that's not what I'm talking about right now. But I did have clients. I had a client that said, hey, do you do websites? And I was like, no, I've never done one before. Would you do one for me? And I said, yes. And that was like diving into like Alice in Wonderland. I don't know if you've ever tried to program a website for someone else, but I do not recommend it. There was not something like Squarespace or one of these like things where you could just sign up for a website and then move things around. I would like code. I learned how to code, which, was a rabbit hole. I lost probably 10 years of my life alone just coding websites. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. Oh, yeah. Where you were was where you was. Any business that has my name on the door is doomed to fail. Ganell, as you know, that's not true. Potapalooza on Bainbridge Island was a huge success. True dat. So a lot of you have probably done this where you've started your own business and you've worked for a company and you were like, wow, I really know how to do this now. Now I'm going to set off on my own. Definitely learn something about business. So I learned those things and then went running back to the law firm. I've been working for law firms ever since. But during these times, in the early 2000s, this is what I'm getting to. It has nothing to do with computer support, except that I had these skills. And a friend of Kamala's that she went to school with, his name's Dr. Jesse Rhines, he came to me and he said, Joel, do you know how to do a vlog? A vlog? And I said, well, a blog, I've heard of a blog. And he said, no, a vlog. And I said, well, what's a vlog? And he said, well, it's like a video log where you go on and you talk and, you put it out there, kind of similar to what I'm doing right now. And so he said, do you want to do a vlog? And I said, well, I guess. What we're going to do it on? And he said, well, I'm really interested in raw food. And I said, I'm really interested in filmmaking because I wanted to learn how to make films. So I figured we could talk about that. So he and I started this thing called Film Shots. And we started talking. And what I found out was there was a thing called podcasting. And you could make an RSS feed, they called it. And then you could send out these weekly audio, kind of like radio. These audio things that you could listen to on the internet. At the time, there were no iPhones. So you could really only listen to it on a computer or you could download it to your iPod. And that's why they were called podcasts. And so I was like, let's do it. I'm already suffering enough. Why don't I suffer some more and try and figure this thing out? And I had been doing websites, so I figured I could do it. So we started this thing called Film Shots, and it grew. First, it was just us talking, and then we thought, hey, we better get somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. So we got like a raw food person on there, and then we got some filmmaking people on there, some people that are working in the film industry. And I started to realize this is a really good thing because I could learn about filmmaking and raw food from people who know about this stuff. And then I could share it out to the world, whoever might want to listen. And we just kept going. We kept going with it. And it kept growing, and we started interviewing some really, really interesting people. But Jesse wanted to take it into some different directions, didn't want to keep talking about film, and I wanted to talk about film. So we split off, and I started Fat Free Film, which was the independent film podcast. And at the time, still not a lot of podcasters out there. I went to a podcasting convention. There were like 5 of us there. But people started listening, and we started getting really good guests because they didn't really even know what it was. So I would take my camera. I had a video camera, and I would just turn it on and keep the lens cap on, and I put it in the middle of the table, and then I talk to this person who was like a filmmaker or an actor or a costumer or a director or an editor, and just record all the audio, and then I put it online. And most of the time they were just like, I don't know what we're doing, but let's just do this. And at the end, I found at the end of the interview, and we were able to talk very in depth. Sometimes we talked for an hour. I found that the person I was interviewing had kind of a cathartic moment. Somewhere in there, something would happen where they'd say something, they'd discover something. They usually discover something for themselves that they didn't really even know about themselves just through talking about their lives. And so I found it was beneficial for everybody. Camel and I went and we interviewed Leonard Nimoy. We were lucky enough to interview Leonard Nimoy before he passed away. And we went over to his house, and I put that camera on the table, and he was like, I don't know what we're doing, but let's do it. So we kept doing this. Peter Bogdanovich and I don't know, Thomas Jane and Patricia Arquette and just all kinds of people. We were lucky enough. The one thing that was really a bummer was one time we went to Fangoria Film Festival. Kamala was in a movie there, and we plunked down our recording device, and somebody sponsored us by giving us a microphone too that had a recording device in it. And we sat down with Roger Corman. And I don't know if you know who Roger Corman is, but Roger Corman is like the person. He's like a director who's been making his own films and a producer for years and years and years. And some of them, maybe not the top quality, but some of them are like Little Shop of Horrors with Jack Nicholson in it. And it turns out from interviewing people in the film business, we found out that he gave lots of people their start. Kept coming back to Roger Corman. So then we went and we just happened to run into Roger Corman, and we're like, let's do an interview. And we interviewed him, and it was incredible. And he told us about all kinds of things that people was just kind of legend, and how he made certain films and, what actually happened on the set. And then after this wonderful interview, I went to download the file, and it was not there. So that was like the lost fat-free film interview. Let's see what Todd says. Did you find yourself during your search? I've been searching for 53 years and no luck. Using the Dr. Seuss mantra, look for something that is lost where it isn't. Yeah. Hey, Fred Ruger, good to see you. Yes, good to have you here. Hi. So I learned a hell of a lot through all this experience, and we didn't have a ton of listeners, but some great listeners. One of them is Ben Gurvich, who was on the show last week. He was in Australia, and he somehow started listening to this podcast he was, as you know, he's sort of on the cutting edge as well. So he started listening to this podcast, and he actually came out when he came out of the United States. He came and visited us, sat in on a podcast. There was another guy who was a dancer, and every night before the show, he played. There's an actor in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang who plays the the guy that steals the children, I believe. He has the cage and he steals the children. That actor was a famous dancer. And this dancer, did a one-man show about the dancer. And he said every night before he went on stage, he would listen to Fat Free Film. So anyway, that's the story of Fat Free Film. It kind of disappeared after a while, but I came across this. It's not gone, by the way. Fatfreefilm.com. If you go there, if you go to iTunes or whatever, look it up. There are some incredible interviews. But anyway, so the thing that reminded me of that was this that I came across on Facebook.
In another 5 years, the only thing that's going to separate movie makers from the person with a new phone is crafted methodology.
I don't shoot coverage, so I never learned to shoot it. I don't even know how to do it.
He said, I'll only do the movie if you want me to do it. And I said, Jimmy, you can't put that on me.
I think that actors are the most boring part of the process of making movies, to me. They're chatty, they're flighty, they're horny.
Am I typecast? Absolutely. So was Clint Eastwood. Yeah. So was John Wayne. So was Gary Cooper. If you're a successful person in films, chances are you're typecast.
Don't be afraid. You can do it. You can do whatever it is. You can really do it. Just don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it, because they're full of shit.
Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it because they're full of shit. So anyway, that makes me think, I don't know. We're having a screening on Thursday night. We're talking to filmmakers. Maybe there's something here. Maybe this will be resurrected. I don't know. I think so. Now, Ganel says, just like Sai Baba, the audio disappeared, I believe, of the Roger Corman thing. Or maybe someone else who erased your video. No, nobody erased it. Did someone say my name 3 times? Yes, I think I said it 3 times. This is Ben Gurvich. The story that I just told, he says Ben McKnight's. There's a story behind that. Someday we'll have to get him to tell the story of Ben McKnight's. Todd says that the actor with the net scared the shit out of me. Had nightmares for years. All right, let's move on. That's the whole Fat Free Film thing. I don't know. I think it's time. All right, moving along here. So this is where we are. I've got a few things that I want to show you here as soon as I can make this thing work. This is an underwater. This is part of the therapy that is lunch therapy. This is an underwater fixed point diver with diver moving 3D. I don't know if you're all aware, but on the internet there are some YouTube videos where you can actually move the camera around, and these are so cool. You take your cursor and you can look all around. If you ever want to be immersed underwater and look at a diver and pretend like you're a professional diver, go to Miguel Pius and go to Underwater Fixed Point with Diver Moving 360 video and enjoy yourself. Just go off. So next, this is a roller coaster that I wanted to share with you. As you know, I love roller coasters. This is no exceptions. A loud hissing roller coaster. Let's just take a look here. Yes, here we go. We're going to go up this is a roller coaster in Hong Kong.
All right, now that's a crazy lift hill.
It is the B&M Floorless On-Ride. All I know is this is a badass coaster. And I'm glad you're all here to enjoy this with me because...
Ocean Park is known for its amazing
the actor with the net, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Now I know what you're talking about.
That does not disappoint
Yeah,
at
he was
all.
awesome, wasn't he?
All right,
Apparently
here
he
we
was this
go.
incredible ballet dancer.
Woo!
It's still cheap.
Whoa!
Whoa, This is so cool. Look at that.
Oh man!
Oh man. This is, I think, one of the better roller coasters
Awesome
around.
airtime hill.
It's hard to even believe it's real. Got to be some kind of record. I don't know what kind of record it is. All right, next scene.
Another amazing view.
Another amazing view. It's got incredible views. Oh, this is very quickly here. I don't know if I can show this or what, but it's a raccoon eating. I mean, it's a slow loris eating a rice ball. Right. Just wait for it because it's going to be, you know, it's a slow loris. So I love slow lorises. This is just the first taste. We're going to have a little bit more of a in-depth look at slow lorises as soon as I can get a slow loris expert on. But they're very, very great. Thing about slow lorises is they are not to be pets. I'll tell you that. It's not allowed. There are people very adamant about this. Apparently, on the internet, there is a video where a slow loris has its hands up in the air and somebody's tickling him, and it says, slow lorises love to be tickled. And the fact is, slow lorises hate being tickled, and having their hands up like that is a sign of distress. So don't be tickling any slow lorises. Don't be trying to get them as pets, because it is not allowed. And besides that, similar to the platypus, they can also hurt you because something about their saliva, if they bite you, it's not good for you. I'll tell you, you can go into anaphylactic shock from a bite from a slow loris. So if you see a slow loris, just let him do his thing. And we can admire them from afar, right? I knew that Camel would like the slow loris. Yeah, and of course you want one, but you can't have one because you could have like maybe a video of a slow loris or maybe a cat that looks like a slow loris, but definitely they're not to be pets. So now that we got that straightened out, I'm going to show this. I contacted these people. It's a band. Last Friday we had the platypus show where we talked about platypuses, and there is a band called Platypus Egg. They're not a huge band yet, as far as I know. Platypus Egg Music. It's on YouTube. I just wanted to showcase their song about their cat, Alfie, because I think that you will enjoy it. Slow loris also hates it when people rip out their teeth and make them pets. Yeah, because sometimes people do that. Sometimes they do. Looks like Gunnell when he's stoned, which means it looks like Gunnell. All right, so let's listen to Platypus Egg. Just a little bit of it because I couldn't get a hold of them. But they're so awesome. This is not the dance part. This is just... I think this might be one of my new favorite bands.
Alfie's so creative, he's so creative. He likes to think, he thinks outside the box. Moves outside the box. Alfie's so creative, he's so creative. He likes to think, he thinks outside the box. He moves outside the box. I wish I was creative and intelligent and imaginative. I wish I was productive and belligerent and intuitive as me. Alfie.
It's one of those songs, I think, where you hear it for the first time, you're like, ew, what? And then if you listen to it like 10 times, you fall in love. You fall in love. So, this is first time. Yeah, great band. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm certain of it now because I've seen this at least 11 times. Yeah, this is where it gets really high tech.
Alfie's so creative.
These people are too
creative. He likes to think. He thinks outside the box. He moves outside the box.
I think there should be a song about moose. I think that Ben Gurvich should write one. Maybe he has written one. I don't know. Ben Gurvich says, Joel, do you remember when I came to? Yeah, when you passed out and then you came to. I'm sure there's more to that sentence. All right, a little bit more here. I know that we're going a little over time, but I just want, oh no, this is not the thing I wanted to show you. Oh, this is for another day. These things are for another day. This is just a precursor to something we're going to talk about later on in the week. But, you know, we had that AC/DC song. There was an AC/DC song that was written by a computer. This is a Eurovision song. Written by a computer. This is what they've decided we like. This is what we have to look forward to in the future. It's computers trying to entertain us. It's so sad because they took over the world. This is another one. This is a Beatles song. They took all the Beatles songs, they threw them into a computer, and they came up with this song at Daddy's car. Enjoy.
And Daddy's got a sound so good, like something new. It turns me on. Good day, sunshine in the.
I'm sure I can't play much of that because the robots will come after me. Let's see what. So Ben said, Joel, do you remember when I came to? And then later on he said, oh man, autocorrect. It's the worst. It's the worst. Todd says, that's what it sounds like when you put music to Seinfeld music. Doom, doom, doom. That's probably the platypus, is what I'm guessing. Words to Seinfeld music. So I don't know. There's a lot of great stuff that's happening with artificial intelligence, and I really wanted to get into that today, but I've run out of time. Robots are trying. Don't pick on them. Yeah, I'm not going to pick on them because, you know, eventually they're going to write a song, but we're going to be like, wow, that's some, you know, Led Zeppelin quality stuff. I want to get into some science, but I'm not going to do it today. I am going to give you the top 10 reasons to be a help desk professional, and then we're going to go straight to the dance party. So last week, I was lucky enough to host we're in the Trash Panda Comedy Club, by the way. We're going to get some applause. Yeah, it's great to be back here at the Trash Panda Comedy Club, because that's what this is all about. So last week I did an entire show giving out awards to support IT professionals, or as some of you call them, help desk people. And I thought, hey, let's try and figure out the top 10 reasons to be a help desk professional. Looking on the positive side here, number one, and if anybody in the chat room has any reasons to be a help desk professional, please, go ahead and join in. Number 10, people think you're always 23. Yeah, it's like forever young. You get to stay young your entire life, because I had people that were clients of mine that would say, oh, well, you know this stuff because you're just a kid. And I didn't want to tell them that I was like 10 years older than they were. So it keeps you forever young, because people think that young people know everything about computers, which is a total lie. They just know how to make funny videos. Maybe I shouldn't list some here. 2, you'll increase your vocabulary, because everybody, you've learned a lot of swear words, and a lot of swear words in different languages. And so that's a great reason to be a help desk professional. Ben Gurvich was a help desk professional at some point, I believe. The robots are trying. Don't pick on them, right? We're going to get to that one too. There, you are forever young, Joel. I love that. I am forever young. Is there a song? 8, you get to sit in the power seat. I think that's pretty, people think that it's a subordinate position, being a help desk professional, but it's not. You're actually in the power seat. And the fact that these people have not taken their power yet is just a testament to their character. Okay. Number 7, when robots take over, you'll be spared because you took care of them. They'll probably make you a pet. Number 6, you get free tech support. I mean, that's a plus, right? Free tech support. Number 5, you can finally gain the upper hand with your parents. Your parents don't like something you did. They don't like, I don't know, they don't like your life decisions. You can be like, well, you really made me sad thinking about that, and I'm not going to be able to remember your Wi-Fi password. So, I mean, I'm just so sad I can't remember your Wi-Fi password, and I know the Crown is coming up, but Rod Stewart. Oh, is that the song? Forever Young. Oh, I wish we could. Thank you very much for coming up with that song title. Ben Gervich says, I loved logging into customers' machines and seeing the weird stuff they had on their desktop. It's so true. That's sitting in the power seat, I guess. People are afraid of you. That's not number 4. Number 4 is you can make all the weird faces you want. Computer support. I'm here to help you. Or you can do this thing the whole time you're on the phone. Be like, yes, press the start button, roll the kernel. As many of you know, roll the kernel. Number 3, you don't have to wear a uniform to work. Yes. You don't have to wear a uniform to work. So you can, that bow tie that you wore when you were a parking lot attendant, you can throw that out. Number 2, you don't have to be a parking lot attendant. So there you go. That's another good one. And number 1, the number 1 reason to be a support technician, drum roll please. You don't have to wear pants. You don't have to wear pants. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody, for being here today. We're heading on to the dance party. Can you wear your birthday suit? You can. You can be totally nude. Just, what's weird, though, is these days, you always got to have the pants ready to just throw them on at any moment because you never know when somebody's going to jump, be like, hey, let's jump on a Zoom call, right? Yeah. Who says there's no comedy on this show, right? It's all punchlines. Those are all punchlines. All right, so now we're moving on to dance party. I got a good one for you today. Today I'm going to have somebody named Courteney Hooper. She's playing one of my favorite songs. I don't know if y'all like Dire Straits. Who doesn't like Dire Straits, right? It's about fucking time we had some punchlines on this show. Tilt down. No. I'm not wearing pants. Of course I'm not. Why would I? I mean, why you don't, you want to do, I put everything I can into the show, everything that I can. And if I have to waste time putting on pants, you might lose quality of the show. So here she is, Courteney Hooper, singing a Dire Straits song written by Mark Knopfler, Sultans of Swing. She's super talented. She let me play this song. I appreciate it.
You get a shiver in the dark, it's raining in the park in the meantime. So to the river, you stop and you hold everything. Benny's blowing Dixie, double 4 time.
I like this one. I don't know what it means, but I'm digging it. Oh, yeah. top. That's number 11. Constant validation that you are in fact the smartest man. You're always right.
Competition in other places. How about the horns that blowing that sound? When I'm down south.
So go, Courteney Hooper, subscribe to her channel. She's got tons of subscribers. She's happening. So this is a nice, peaceful way to go out. I'm not talking too much.
Check out Guitar George. He knows all the chords. Mind a secret rhythm. It doesn't wanna make him cry or sing.
All right, thank you all for being here. See you on Wednesday for more lunch therapy.